One of my favorite things about hiking when the trees are bare is how far you can see in the woods. Alright, so here I am after hiking all afternoon. It was a lot wetter than I'd planned, and as a result I'm cold and soaked. But I do have managed to get a fire going in spite of the fact that all of the wood is damp, or at least most of it. And kind of wishing I had brought my stove and packed just a little bit heavier so I could make myself some hot soup or at least some hot tea or something. But as it is, I'm going to have to do with a protein bar, an apple, and cold water. It's supposed to get pretty cold tonight, so I'm hoping that overnight the rain will turn to snow, which will mean tomorrow morning I'll have some really interesting hiking, really pretty. Because it pretty much rained on me the whole time, I kind of just put my head down and just went at it, which meant that instead of doing a little bit of sightseeing along the way, I got here a lot faster than I expected. It took me about 4 hours to hike about 12 miles. And at this point, this little Adirondack shelter feels like a 5-star hotel, especially with the fire going. So didn't do a lot of video on the way out because of the rain, and just wanted to get here. Hoping tomorrow's better. Hoping there'll be some snow. Hoping it'll be pretty on the way back, and the snow will be a little bit less damp and a little more interesting hike. So we'll see. So that was my shelter last night. I burned up all the firewood that had been there. It kept me warm until about 4 a.m. And this morning I went and I got some fresh wood. And I got half of what I wanted today. Actually, the half that I didn't want. It's cold as all get out, but it didn't bother to snow. So this particular set of shelters, after you get off the main trail, and usually you think the shelters are pretty close to the main trail, but you have like, I would say, over a mile along this gravel road to hike to get to the shelters, which, when you see the turnoff and you think, oh good, I'm almost there, it's pretty rough. It just goes down around a corner, keeps going. I don't even know how far away from the trail I am at this point. For anyone who's not hiked anywhere in the Laurel Highlands, this is kind of a demonstration of what the terrain is like. There are places where it's, more even than this, and there are places that are worse. But I would say what you're seeing right now is pretty typical. It's just a continuous challenge to not twist your ankle, and it never really lets up for more than maybe a few hundred yards, and occasionally it's far worse than this. So this is one of, I believe there were 3 rock mazes. This one was the more interesting one. It was the final one on the way out, and of course the first one on the way back, because when I was coming the other way, at this point I didn't actually think I was going to fit through here. I was wondering if I'd gotten lost despite the blazes. And it's just it's like something you would build for kids. You can imagine how easy it would be to get lost if it didn't have blazes. And now we have the little steps. I don't know who put these in place, but I'm a pat on the back for that. And we're out. And this is what it looked like coming from the other direction. I was just going, oh boy. And I guess they could have found a way around it. Maybe up there. Oh, that's where I'm coming from. So I guess maybe around it, but it is kind of neat that it goes through it. Here's another one of the rock mazes. I just came from that direction and just kind of subtle, didn't even realize I was entering it. If I remember correctly, this one is not nearly as narrow or enclosed or potentially something you get lost in as this one is. This one's pretty neat still. Again, Those steps. I've been on my way up ever since I left camp this morning. So another part that yesterday was completely shrouded in fog. It was pouring down rain. One more little rock maze. I don't remember this one. May not be that long or interesting, but it is here nonetheless. I don't think it's actually a maze. I think it's just a throughway. Kind of neat though. Very narrow. Yeah, I remember now because I almost got lost. Tried to go off to the right there when I was coming the other way. Didn't notice the blaze on the rock. Almost back at this point. Thought I'd maybe record this. It's kind of pretty. It's amazing to me how little water there is up here given how much it rained yesterday. I guess it's just you're so high up that there's not a lot of places where things can actually collect into streams. This is one of them. This is the last mile marker before my car. I'm near the road. Actually, if you look, you can kind of see it. Here's the road crossing. See, this is the point where you start getting nervous. You can't see the car. Did it maybe get stolen? There's the turnoff. It's pretty obvious. It's kind of ironic that, you know, I'm here and I still have this obnoxious hill to hike up. So I'm going to now find somewhere that is meat covered in bacon and cheese, and I'm going to eat. And then I'm going to go home and get a shower. And whatever I do after that is easy compared to this. So that's it. That's my 24 miles. 12 out yesterday and 12 back this morning. It's probably not even noon yet. I'm tired, but it was a good trip.